All right, everyone, this is Mattey Mitchell coming to you from FFT. You might have heard already that following its consultation last year, the government plans to strengthen police powers against people living on roadside camps. In plain English, that means pulling away in a trailer or other vehicle and living what has been, for many of us, a traditional way of life. The majority of 26,000 people did not support this bill. Our research at FFT shows that even the majority of policemen didn't want these expanded powers. They said it's not the solution. Yet, despite the resistance to it, we're still seeing a proposal for what is one of the harshest laws against gypsies, travellers, and travelling ways of life in decades. So, the government's idea is to introduce a new criminal offence. The idea is to prevent significant harm to the environment, prevent antisocial behaviour, and prevent littering. Non compliance with this law could mean a £2,500 fine, a prison sentence for 3 months, or having your property, that is, your trailer or vehicle, confiscated by the police. As a separate issue, as it stands now under the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act, when gypsies or travellers have been moved on from an area, they can't return to it for 3 months. The government plans to extend that time frame to 12 months. So once you've been moved on from a place, you can't return to it for a year. Now, here's what our research shows. There ain't enough sites to stop on in England. So the people worst affected by this bill can only be them with nowhere else to go in the first place. And on top of that, taking their homes right out from under them. But that ain't where it ends. Imagine now you're taking a trailer up to the fair and you ain't got explicit permission to let the jacks down, although you've been doing it nearly your whole life. You're subject to the new bill. Imagine you're on your way to Appleby and you ain't arranged set places to stop. You're subject to the new bill. 3 months in prison, £2,500 fine, and or confiscation of your property. The government says this bill will only affect the minority of gypsies and travellers, but the truth is the legal wording of the bill is so open it could be interpreted in any way by anyone. Now, I want you to ask yourself, how many people do you think will sit down and interpret the words of this bill in favour of gypsy and traveller communities? Here's the good news. The bill's not been passed into law yet. There's still some time for us to make our voices heard, but in that, we need your help. We are mounting a pushback. We know the proposal for these laws was in the Conservative Party's manifesto, and that there are a majority of Conservative MPs now in Parliament, so it ain't going to be easy. But there are roughly 650 MPs in Westminster, and there are about 300,000 gypsies and travellers in the UK, not even counting our allies. So your voice does matter, and your voice can make a difference. We need everybody to write to their local MP. To make this easier, we've made an online tool. All you need to do is write in a few of your details, your postcode, and it will automatically generate a whole letter outlining the main concerns. This letter will be addressed straight to your local MP. You can add to it if you want, put your own spin on it, or leave it as it is. Then all you've got to do is hit send, and that letter will be sent digitally. It could take less than a minute. If you'd like to be more involved, we can definitely make room for it. If you're going to be affected by this bill, we do want to hear from you and we can help get your voice heard by politicians. Even if you want to be 100% anonymous, that's something we can work with. If the law does pass, there might be an opportunity to submit a legal challenge, but that is not something we can do alone. So finally, we're asking people who might be keen to take part in a legal challenge to come forward and talk to us, and we can brief you further on what might be involved.